You open your phone to check one thing. 20 minutes later you surface, and you couldn't tell anyone what you actually saw. Not really. A blur of faces, captions, outrage, a dog in a costume, someone's kitchen renovation, a stranger's opinion about a war, a joke you already forgot the punchline to. Nothing landed, nothing stayed. And yet somehow you feel more tired than when you picked the phone up, like you just did a full shift of work with nothing to show for it. Because in a sense, you did. Your attention was the labor, and it got spent on things that gave you back almost nothing in return. That feeling has a name now, mostly used as a joke, but underneath the joke is something genuinely worth taking seriously. The phrase people reach for is brain rot, the sense that constant exposure to fast, cheap, algorithmically optimized content is quietly wearing down your ability to focus, to sit still, to think a thought all the way to its end without reaching for a new stimulus halfway through. And the strange part is, this isn't really a new problem wearing a new costume. The mechanism underneath it is old. What's new is just how efficiently it's now being exploited. Because attention was always the target. Long before feeds and notifications, there were marketplaces, gossip, spectacle, rumor, endless cheap stimulation competing for a mind that only has so much of itself to give away in a day. What's changed is the precision. Every scroll, every autoplay, every notification has been tuned by people who get paid specifically for how long they can keep your eyes moving without you ever choosing to look away. You're not weak for finding it hard to resist. You're being out-engineered by systems built by teams of very smart people whose entire job is making sure you don't put the phone down. So the question worth asking isn't, why can't I focus anymore? It's, what exactly is being taken from me every time I hand my attention over without noticing? And this is where Stoic philosophy becomes strangely useful for a problem it obviously never saw coming, because it was built around one blunt idea over 2,000 years ago. Your attention is the one resource you actually own outright, and most people spend it like it costs nothing on whatever happens to be loudest in the moment. Think about what attention actually is, stripped down. It's not a background process running while you live your life. It is, in a very real sense, the material your life gets made out of. Whatever you gave your attention to today, that's what today was, as far as your experience of it goes. Not what happened around you, but what you actually noticed, engaged with, let land. Someone can sit through an entire dinner with people they love and be somewhere else the whole time, scrolling under the table, and that dinner, for them, barely happened. Someone else can spend 10 minutes actually present with a single conversation and walk away with more than the first person got from the whole evening. Same amount of time, wildly different amount of life actually lived. This reframes the whole brain rot problem in a useful way, because it stops being about willpower and starts being about noticing the exchange rate. Every time you open an app out of boredom rather than intention, you're not just wasting time, you're trading a piece of your one finite attention for content specifically built to not satisfy you. So you'll come back and trade again 5 minutes later. It's not neutral, it's not free, it's a transaction, and most of us have never once stopped to ask what we're actually getting for what we're spending. The Stoic practice for dealing with this wasn't complicated, even if it sounds almost too plain to be useful at first. It was simply this. Before letting something in, ask whether it deserves the space. Not everything that reaches you needs to be let all the way in. A thought can pass by and be noted without being adopted. A headline can be seen without being absorbed into your mood for the rest of the day. An urge to check the phone can be felt fully without being obeyed. There's a gap, small, often less than a second, between the impulse and the action, and almost nobody trains themselves to notice that gap exists, let alone to use it. But it's there every single time, and it's the only place any of this actually gets decided. Try it literally next time the urge hits to reach for the phone with no real reason. Instead of reaching automatically, pause for the length of one full breath and ask, plainly, what you're actually hoping to get. Most of the time there's no honest answer. It's not information you need. It's not connection you're seeking. It's just the itch of boredom looking for the fastest possible relief. And the phone happens to be the fastest relief available, which is exactly why it's so good at hooking you and exactly why it leaves you feeling worse rather than better once the 20 minutes are gone. None of this means throwing the phone in a drawer and living like it's a different century. That's not realistic, and it's not really the point. The point is smaller and far more repeatable than that. Building the habit of asking before you hand your attention over whether this is actually where you want to spend it. Some days the honest answer will be yes. A real conversation, a video that actually teaches you something, a moment of genuine rest you chose on purpose. Other days the honest answer will be no, and just noticing that, just catching the handoff before it happens automatically, is most of the battle already won. This is the actual Stoic strategy, not withdrawal from the world, just custody of your own attention. Because the mind that gets to choose what it pays attention to is a mind that's actually, meaningfully, yours. And the mind that gets pulled in every direction by whatever's loudest in a given moment isn't really thinking at all. It's just reacting on a loop to a system that was never designed with its well-being in mind. The rot isn't really in the content. It's in the automatic, unexamined handoff. The giving away of attention without ever once asking if it was worth giving. That gap between the pull and the response is small. It's also the only place any of this changes. Everything else is just noise, waiting to see if you'll notice you had a choice at all. The world is going to keep throwing noise at you, louder, faster, harder to ignore, every single day. That's not going to change. What can change is you, quietly getting better at deciding what actually gets in, one moment at a time, until it's not even a struggle anymore, it's just who you are. Nobody hands you that. No app, no algorithm, no feed benefits from you having a calm, focused mind. Most of them are built to take it from you, quietly, one scroll at a time. So it has to be something you take back on purpose, over and over, in the small, unremarkable moments nobody else ever sees. That's the whole practice. There isn't a finish line where you arrive and it's suddenly easy forever. There's just today, and the choice in front of you right now, and tomorrow, another one just like it. And most days, it won't feel like progress. It'll just feel like you, catching yourself half a second earlier than you did last week, putting the phone down a little sooner, letting a thought pass instead of chasing it all the way down. Small stuff, nothing anyone would notice from the outside. But that's how the version of you that isn't run by every notification actually gets built. Not in some big dramatic moment, but in 100 quiet ones that add up to something real, whether you're keeping count or not. If this gave you something to hold on to, that's really all I'm trying to do here. Subscribe if you want more of it, like it if it helped, and I'll catch you in the next one.